There are warriors who fight for land, others who fight for kings. But then there are warriors who fight for something greater, for an ideal, for faith, for eternity itself. These warriors were known as the Knights Templar. Born in the 12th century, forged in the fire of the Crusades, the Knights Templar were not ordinary men. They took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, yet wielded the sword with unmatched ferocity. They were monks and warriors, soldiers of Christ whose battlefield was the Holy Land, and whose mission was to protect pilgrims, defend Jerusalem, and live as an army of God. Their legacy has survived centuries. Their symbols, their discipline, and their courage have echoed across time. And today, their code speaks to us not only as history but as timeless lessons for the modern warrior. Let's uncover 3 powerful quotes that capture the spirit of the Templars and reveal how their lessons can still shape our lives today. Let's begin. Quote 1. "Not to us, Lord, not to us, but to your name give glory." This was the battle cry of the Templars. Engraved on their seals, spoken before battle, it defined their spirit. Most warriors fight for pride, for conquest, for recognition. The Templars fought for something beyond themselves. Every victory, every sacrifice, every drop of blood spilled was not to glorify their names, but the name of God. Think of this. When the Templars charged into battle, dressed in white cloaks with the red cross upon their chest, they didn't shout their own names. They shouted a prayer. Their mission was not ego, it was service. This is what made them so fearsome. A man who fights for himself can be broken, but a man who fights for something higher than himself cannot be bought, cannot be shaken, cannot be defeated in spirit. We see this same lesson in other warrior traditions. The samurai fought for honor, not wealth. The Spartans fought for their city, not just their own survival. And the Templars fought for God, believing that their struggle echoed into eternity. Now let's bring this to the modern world. Too often we live for external recognition. We fight battles only to prove ourselves to others. But the Templars remind us the strongest warriors fight for a cause greater than their own pride. Practical takeaways. Find your higher purpose. Define what you truly fight for beyond ego. Dedicate your victories. Success is not just yours. Use it to serve. Be mission-driven. Purpose gives you strength when motivation fades. Sacrifice for meaning. Warriors give up comfort for something eternal. Live beyond yourself. Leave a legacy, not just a trophy. The Templars knew that glory fades, but purpose endures. That is why their order still inspires us nearly 900 years later. Quote 2. "We are the Knights of Christ. We fear no man, for we fear only God. Fear is the weapon of the enemy." But the Templars were taught that true warriors bow only to God. Imagine the scene, a small band of Templar knights standing against waves of Saracen cavalry. Outnumbered, exhausted, surrounded. Any other army would tremble, but the Templars were unshaken. Their fearlessness came not from arrogance, but from faith. They believed that life and death were already in God's hands. If they lived, it was His will. If they died, it was His will. With that faith, they were untouchable by fear. This made them legends. Chronicles from the Crusades tell of Templar knights holding the line against impossible odds, refusing to retreat, fighting until their last breath. Even their enemies respected their courage. We see this same mindset in other warrior cultures. The Vikings believed that death in battle guaranteed entrance to Valhalla. The samurai embraced the code of Bushido, accepting death before battle even began. The Templars shared this warrior truth. Fear vanishes when you embrace something greater than survival. Now think about today. Fear is still our greatest enemy. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of loss. But like the Templars, we can train ourselves to live fearless by anchoring ourselves in faith, values, and principles that transcend fear. Practical takeaways. Face fear with faith. Believe in something larger than the fear itself. Accept mortality. Warriors who accept death live fully and fight bravely. Stand your ground. Do not retreat in the face of challenge. Respect your enemies. Fearlessness does not mean arrogance. Live courageously. Daily boldness is the Templar way. When you fear only God, no man can control you. That is why the Templars were so dangerous. They could not be intimidated because they had already conquered fear. Mid-script engagement. Before we continue to the final lesson of the Knights Templar, let me pause and ask you, are you feeling the fire of their code? If you are, take a second right now. Like this video, share it with a friend who needs inspiration, and subscribe to Conrad Warriors. Every week we bring you the mindset of legends. Now let's continue. Quote 3. A knight who lives without faith is already defeated. This is the heart of the Templar code. Faith is not an accessory. Faith is the foundation. Without faith, a knight is just a mercenary, a sword for hire. Without faith, a man may fight, but he fights empty, without conviction, without endurance. The Templars knew that their greatest weapon was not their steel, but their spirit. History records that when new recruits joined the Templars, they swore sacred vows. They gave up wealth, family, and personal ambition to live entirely for their mission. Their faith became their armor, stronger than any chainmail. Consider the story of the siege of Acre in 1189. The Templars fought tirelessly for nearly 2 years, holding the line against brutal attacks. What sustained them? Not wealth, not fame, but faith. Faith that their struggle mattered. Faith that even in defeat their sacrifice echoed in eternity. This is the warrior truth. Without faith, you are broken before the battle even begins. But with faith, you are unshakable even in the darkest night. For us today, faith may take many forms. It might be faith in God. It might be faith in a mission, a cause, or a higher principle. But without it, our battles feel empty. With it, every challenge becomes meaningful. Practical takeaways. Define your faith. What do you believe in beyond yourself? Let faith be armor. When life strikes, let belief protect your spirit. Stand unshaken. Warriors with faith cannot be broken. Sacrifice with purpose. Faith transforms loss into meaning. Live with conviction. A warrior without belief is already defeated. The Templars remind us that battles are won not by weapons, but by spirit. The sword may cut, but faith endures. Closing, the Knights Templar were not just warriors. They were monks with swords, soldiers of Christ, men who lived and died by a code of faith, courage, and service. Their 3 quotes give us the Templar code. Fight for something greater than yourself. Glory fades, but purpose endures. Fear no man. True warriors bow only to God and live without fear. Live by faith. Without belief, the warrior is already defeated. Their order eventually fell, betrayed by kings, crushed by politics, their knights burned at the stake. But their spirit never died. Their legacy of courage, discipline, and faith lives on, inspiring warriors even in the modern age. So when your battles come, when fear rises, when critics doubt you, when you wonder if the struggle is worth it, remember the Templars. Fight not for pride, but for purpose. Fear no man, only God, and live with faith that cannot be shaken. This is Conrad Warriors. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, because the warrior spirit lives on in all of us.